Hey there guys, Elita Legionarii here, and today I am bringing you a 3 vs 3 31k for Rome Total War. And this is a really good battle because it emphasizes some really good teamwork here, and basically being really dominant from the beginning of the game through good use of teamwork and taking advantage of situations that are present on the battlefield and understanding and reading the battle. So I thought, this would be a really good one from that perspective, as I can show you some things that were well done by my team in this battle, and also from the perspective that it was a really good battle in general. So I commanded the Brutii Romans in this battle. My army consists of the standard 14-6 build. My ally here is Heaven's clan member AdmiralDB. He has got command of 14-6 as well, I think. No he doesn't, sorry. He's got 3 archer auxilia, then he has 11 urbans and 6 Praetorian Cav. And then we have Heaven Clan's member Mercury, although he's not wearing his he hasn't got his Heaven Clan tags on. He's got 5 Praetorian Cav, 2 archer auxilia, and the rest are urbans. Our opponents are directly opposite him. We have a Brotherhood member Odin, who has got 6 units of Praetorian Cav, and the rest are urbans. Then in the centre we have Brotherhood member Conan, who has got, 6 units of Praetorian Cav and 14 urbans, and this is a typical sort of Conan technique here to have these very cool but interesting formations. And then we have ScorpionKing SR, who's got the Seleucid Empire. Now, the reason this battle was good for us is that I'm fairly familiar with how SR is going to play with the Seleucids. He does this technique where he will wrap around the flanks and try and get critical blows with archers and use well-timed strikes with his cataphracts. But he always goes into a flanking position when he does this. His builds are almost always the same. Like, he'll always have 5 archers, 6 cataphracts, and the rest being pikemen. I don't think I've ever seen SR use anything else when he uses the Seleucids, and I have seen him use them a fair number of times. Now, the interesting thing here is you can see that my build is precisely set up to counter this, because I've got this little group here which I'm going to send in this direction to hold Conan. But I'm going to send this group of 5 urbans out here to come in through the centre here and cut off SR from joining up with Conan. So I'm going to use this army to hold Conan, this little army to hold Conan, this army to cut him off, and then the rest of me and AdmiralDB's forces are going to rush and destroy SR's forces, while Mercury just links up with us and either holds aggressive moves by Odin. Odin's doesn't tend to be very aggressive though, so that's fine. In general rules, Brotherhood members are not that aggressive, so you can usually rely on this. So I said to Admiral, I said, isolate and cut off ScorpionKing SR. That's our first move. So I'm going to rush forward with this little group. I'm going to rush forward with this group, and I'm not going to go all the way. I'm going to try and just delay this action from this army of Conan, and I'm going to try and use this to cut him off. SR is going to retreat his infantry back. He knows he needs to, which is a good move. But he goes ahead for his little flanking skirmish action out here, which is good for us because if he loses his cataphracts, he's got no shield against total destruction, and now he's going to support these units here, which is perfect because now he's going to be totally cut off from Conan. Conan is running to try and get over to him, but I should be able to intercept Conan before, because the gap between these two is pretty huge. Mercury's coming over to join us, but the plan is perfectly being executed thus far. Missile duel begins here, a duel that and for most parts Admiral's got a range advantage, but he's got less men. But he rushes his cav up here, and I've brought my cav in this direction too, although I see Conan making some pushes with his cav here, so I had to kind of just make sure my cav was nearby. Conan's going to push his army over, and I need to keep pushing at Conan here because I need to cut these 2 off. Admiral's going to try and get some of these missile units, which is good. If he can get these, this flanking procedure by SR will fail. All the while he's shooting them up as well, so it's working out nicely so far because SR is definitely losing that missile duel. And at this stage, as you can see, I'm going to push forward here in an attempt to cut him off here, cut Conan off from SR. As you can see, Admiral's pushing up on his infantry, and as you can see though, the cavalry from Conan has made it over, and then Conan's main army is there as well. And I was at this point thinking that we'd have to adapt the plan because it looks like they're going to connect, but here we see SR moving further forward with his cavalry. So I just said to Admiral, I said, okay, I'm going to send my cav to you, and we're going to destroy these cataphracts and these archers, which will mean the only thing that these Seleucid infantry can do is to support their allies. There is very little they can do against our Roman infantry. So here we see AdmiralDB making a push to go and get rid of these archers, and I put my cavalry up to assist. And what we're going to do is play defensively here in the centre, and we've got Mercury's cav to help support here, and that's all we're going to do in the centre. And as you can see, we overrun these archers pretty quickly. Admiral's going to cut this way, and this means Conan's going to make some pretty aggressive cav actions here, so Admiral has to be very careful with that. Mercury's going to come this way as well, and this is where I think there was a real crucial mistake by these two. Odin's made no efforts to do anything here. In my opinion, this was a mistake. What he should have done was engaged Mercury and used his cav to break through while Mercury had no cavalry here to shield him. Or the same to me, one or the other, or he needed to go support his allies. Odin makes neither move, and that was a big mistake, because what's going to happen here is, as you can see, we're going to rush the cataphracts, and in a straight out grind like this in normal formation, cataphracts will actually win this fight because they've got the mace and they're better at this. But what we should have done is gone for wedge charge here, but we didn't. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around. Now, as you can see, Conan made some pretty nice moves here with his cav and got a good number of DB's men. But as you can see, Odin makes no move with his cav, and that was the only thing that could have been detrimental to us, because it could have shifted the advantage we were gaining over here and put us at a disadvantage on the other side. But instead we just eventually just overwhelm all these cataphracts. I'm going to go around and surround them, because cataphracts once surrounded just rout straight out. Look at that. As soon as they surrounded, cataphracts just absolutely just take a complete haul and rout. The only reason they're holding here is because they're maxed out. Over here I decided to sacrifice one cav to hold them, but as you can see, we gain a supremely powerful cavalry advantage and a massive infantry advantage by this stage, because without the cataphracts, the Seleucids are extremely vulnerable. So at this stage he pulls some guys away, but they're pretty depleted and they're tired now, so that's good. And Odin I think made a real big mistake here. He should just really gunned it against Mercury over here and used his cavalry just to... He could have easily just sent his cavalry right around the side, or even right behind them. Hammer and anvil would have been over, because all our cavalry was down here, and I think it was a lost opportunity on Odin's part, to be honest. Conan definitely tried taking advantage over here, and he did do a bit of damage, but I think he should have got his cav over to this cav fight. SR was annoyed by this, rightfully so if you ask me, because his allies didn't really do a very good job of supporting him there. Conan did to a certain extent, but Conan I think should have gone over here and tried for the cav fight, or he should have worked with Odin to absolutely blitz this wing, and I really think they failed to do either, which was an error on both their part. So here these Praetorians are continually, from Conan, are continually trying to do a bunch of damage, but some pretty... he holds his ground good, Admiral, and he gets a bunch of peeler in, so this is taking a lot of losses there. So we have achieved a pretty dominant cavalry advantage really early in the piece, and we're trying to isolate now and cut off SR's infantry. And this is what's been the good thing about this fight. We have just dominated it from the start. We've had control over the pace of the game, we've had control over how it's being fought, and we maintain this all the way. And because they did not support this action, the loss of those cataphracts is extremely dangerous. So here we see Conan makes a move against me while I was moving up, and his initial charge is a bit of damage, but I'm just going to testudo this, and my testudo will block him, and then I'm going to get a counter charge with my cavalry here. Fire arrows coming in from AdmiralDB, and it causes all of Conan's cavalry to rout, although they will come back. But cav that is already routed is much easier to rout later on, so overall that was a good move. I did not take too many heavy losses there. Now he lost his cavalry, which is still taking hits from the archers. At this stage over here, there's been a steady duel going on between Mercury and Odin. Looks like it's been fairly even, just a bit of peeler dueling. I'm going to bring my guys up here now. Conan starts unleashing waves of peeler at my guys here once they come out of testudo, but I'm going to end up throwing a bunch as well. And this is fine because I've still got this little wing of my army as well. And Mercury's got good numbers over here, and because we've got cavalry advantage and infantry advantage really, because the Seleucid infantry is nowhere near a match, we can afford to be a little bit more reckless with it. So having a bit of a missile duel here, or peeler duel rather, and it's better that he wastes his guys on me, because then Admiral can just hurl all his in, and as you can see he does so right away. And of course with Conan's deep formations like this, he does take quite a beating from that. Over here, as you can see, Mercury's pushed up. Aggressive cav attack by Odin here, but it doesn't get much ground. And as you can see, SR's regrouped cataphracts were in the back here, so myself and Admiral just got rid of them before they could be a real nuisance. But here's another cav attack by Conan and Odin. They're trying to take advantage of the fact that our cavalry's distracted, so we need to get it up there and into the place to support quickly. Fire arrows are coming in, which is constantly reducing their morale, and these guys are already tired, and they've routed once, or at least in the case of Conan's cavalry, which doesn't help them in the end result. So the battle's still in our control because we have cavalry dominance, we have missile dominance, and we have infantry dominance at this stage, and that is very, very critical. In fact, cavalry-wise it's close, but they've already routed once on Conan's cav, and they've depleted more than us, and they of course lost all of the cataphracts, so it is in our favour. Here we see SR bring his pikes over. This is just to stop cavalry run through, but it doesn't really matter at this stage because we should be able to win. So I've had a bit of a missile duel here with Odin, with my guys here, and of course fire arrows are coming in on SR's guys here, and as you can see these guys try to get a nice charge in, but Mercury's infantry holds and he's going to get a counter here. I was going to go and support him, but I see that they're disengaged, but as you can see much of Odin's cav is gone, and I think Conan's cav should rout pretty much instantly as well, just because it's been routed once, and that does make them susceptible to routing quite easily again. So through here I'm going to start engaging Odin. I'm using manual peeler control, Conan rather, manual peeler control to hit his guys here and deplete them a bit. Conan is in a pretty heavy blocky defensive formation, so I'm going to focus on breaking Odin. So I set up my cav and I'm going to move them down here, and I'm going to go straight up the flank here while he is doing a nice job. I push up my infantry here just to get a bit of peeler off, and I'm going to charge and occupy as much of Odin's force as possible. As you can see, Conan's going to push. At the moment Admiral needs to move these infantry to the back here because they're not doing enough, but at this stage I'm going to slice up here targeting his general's unit, and right up the flank like this. It will be a very devastating cav charge indeed, and as you can see I cause, I think it's the general, I think I get the general. Okay, he goes to Testudo here, which is sound because it's going to hold me, but I've got two or three units there, and then I just Testudo in the centre here to hold Conan. As you can see I achieved that reasonably well. SR just throws the towel in there, which I don't think was a wise move, because they still had not a great chance, but they still had a fighting chance to a certain extent. He could have helped his allies with these pikes blocking our cav, so I don't think he should have done that, but he has done that, and now Conan is basically on his own. Odin's guys start to master out there between my cav and Mercury's guys, and I bring my cav in here, get a bit of a charge, although it's blunted pretty well to be honest, but needless to say he's going to get completely swamped by the remainder of our infantry and cavalry. So I'm just going to triple speed this. As you can see, Conan's just, all his troops are just clustered there. Although my cav got stuck here, I couldn't get them to go out of this, and I think that's probably because Mercury poured his infantry right in behind me and I couldn't get out with all of them. So two of them got stuck fighting in a protracted melee. That's not really ideal. Looks like a couple of Conan's infantry got around the back there. But at this stage it's all but over. And I get another cav charge through here. Get a bit of a rout going, and as you can see Conan's men are basically in a cannet here, and they're surrounded at the end by our overwhelming numbers, and they've got fire arrows coming in. They're going to rout any minute, so it's going to triple speed, and as you can see Conan's men are being ground down between Brutii and Mercury's forces, some of my forces, and we've got some forces over here as well fighting his general's unit, and it's pretty much going to be the end of his forces. So I'm going to do is a quick charge, get rid of the general there, and that's basically the end of it. So we really dominated that fight right away. As you can see, Mercury's nearly cracked 2,000 kills there, so very well done on his end. But we had superb cavalry work. The plan absolutely was executed exactly as we intended it. We were able to cut SR off on the flank there, and we're able to catch his cavalry out and destroy them. But I do think there was an opportunity there for Odin in particular, and Conan could have actually helped them to make a strike on Mercury, because all our cavalry was actually over on the other side, and it would have just been a race to see who could quickly win their side of the battle. And ultimately they didn't even move on it, and I think they missed a very good opportunity to at least reverse the scenario their battle was going, because it was very much dominated by us the entire way through. So I felt this was a good win for the Heaven Clan. As you can see, we've all got nice kill counts. If you want to look at the scorecards here, I can actually show you both myself and Admiral. Admiral's forces here. His archers look like they did pretty good. His cav did fairly good here. A couple of them got pretty beaten up by the cataphracts, but all around he did pretty good there. His infantry didn't do as much. His archers and his cav got all his kills, and then I'm on the bottom. All my guys are these ones down here. Cav did reasonable, infantry did pretty well as well. So all in all, it was a very good game. We pretty much dominated it though, because we set the pace, and the enemy kind of just fell right into what we wanted to do that fight. So, you know, that's what I wanted to stress. Sometimes, you know, not every game you can have a plan, but you should, in my opinion, be able to come up with one for each battle, because some people say, oh, there's no time, you can't do that, but that's not true. That's really not true, because you can come up with a battle plan while you're in the lobby. You can look at the enemy's numbers, you can look at the enemy's factions, you can try and work out what they're trying to do, and then you can try and coordinate it while you're in the deployment phase of the battle, and even the opening stages of the battle, there's a little bit of time. So, in all honesty, if anyone says there's no time for it, I think they're being silly, because there is time for it, and it's slack not to. What you ideally want to do is get to the point where you're so used to working with certain players that you no longer need to do that. You can just coordinate it just because you've worked with them so many times. And in this case, we're not quite at that stage in the Heaven Clan, but we're getting closer, which is good. So in this case, the battle worked out really well according to the plan. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And I hope you take some interesting tips from it, and if you've got anything you want to leave in the comments, that would be appreciated. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon next time.